As I pushed onward in hardcore Minecraft, the milestone of 1000 days grew closer and closer. But the road ahead certainly wasn't going to be easy. It had taken hours and hours of work to get to this point. I was well aware that the monsters of this world had nearly taken everything from me. But you know how the saying goes, what doesn't kill you can only make you stronger. The hardcore journey resumes on day 701. My supply of dark prismarine was at an all-time high of absolutely 0, so I set out to build a squid farm. After searching all day, I picked the worst possible place to build the farm. I forgot to bring enough blocks and had to return home. Am I stupid? That's a bit rude. Day 702, I got back to work building the farm. There's farms that are way faster than this one, but I'd heard some stuff about 1.16 squid farms not working on 1.17. At the end of the day, it doesn't matter because I built this thing in the wrong place anyway. As night fell, I continued working, blissfully unaware that I was building a giant useless bathtub. Day 703, the water decided it would no longer obey the laws of physics. The farm uses axolotls to kill the squids, so I flew over to my ocean monument. There used to be loads in this underwater ravine, but I think they mastered the art of teleportation. The whole day was basically a low-budget Finding Nemo movie. I headed back to base to name my new killing machines, pets. First up we got Pingu. Then we have Pingu's dad, who shattered the anvil with his pure strength. We've also got Pingu's mum, Pingu's granddad, Pingu's grandma, and Pingu's long-lost cousin. Day 704, I set the family free in their new home. All that was left to build was an AFK platform, and I actually didn't have any glass on me. 700 days in hardcore and my AFK platform is made of dirt. I removed the scaffolding and the water in this game just does not make any sense. Like, what is that? Oh yeah, that makes perfect sense. By the time night fell, I hadn't even fixed the problem, I just made it worse. Eventually I got it sorted and headed up the dirt platform. When I headed down on day 705, I realized Pingu's grandparents had done a runner. I finally realized, oh, I built this farm in the middle of a massive lake. No wonder it runs about as well as a PC that got thrown off a 10-story building. I just love draining water. It's not like I haven't been doing it for 200 days draining my ocean monument. I also punched this squid, not sure why I did that. Day 706, I had to play a game. What game? Sand Placing Simulator, which, spoiler alert, absolutely sucks. I spotted a skeleton in full iron armor and rushed home to grab a name tag. I managed to trap him in a boat and fully protect him so that he wouldn't die to sunlight. Day 707 was just more draining. I was only going to do the nearby area because if I tried to drain the entire lake, this video would be called I Survived 100 Days of Placing Sponge. By the end of the day I was done and returned to the terrible dirt platform known as the AFK spot. I checked the farm on day 708 and it was finally showing some results. So I just AFK'd the entire day and night, even built myself a little shack. Day 709 I gathered up all the ink from the farm and the results were alright I guess. 2 stacks of ink for 30 minutes of AFKing isn't ideal though. I then leapt off the edge of my monument without an elytra and sprained my ankle. I needed warped wood so I made a short visit to hell. That's what normal people do, right? I found this strider with a saddle and just sat there. I mean it was 3 AM so I had no idea what I was doing either. With a full inventory of supplies, I started work on the monument. Day 710, can I interest you in watching a British guy place prismarine? You think that's boring? You got a point to be honest. Sometimes when I'm editing the footage, I just wonder what goes through my head. Like, why did I just start punching the skeleton? Day 711, a wandering trader showed up. Stop struggling. I need to redesign the back of the monument because what it looks like right now is a bunch of suitcase handles. I smoothed it out with some stairs and also added some sea lanterns. Day 712, I decided the perfect thing for this section was a statue. Now a lot of people know that I hate building trees, but did you know I also hate building statues? Making something look natural and fluid is one of the things I really struggle with. By day 713, I finished my first attempt and it turned out alright. I headed home because I realized some end rods would be a great addition to the statue. But first, I gotta spend the night in a shed because I ran out of rockets. Day 714, I used those end rods I was talking about to add some spikes onto the statue's trident. With the statue finished, I could get back to work on the rest of the monument. If I could, I'd time-lapse all of this, but I had the technical skills of a slab of concrete. Day 715, I needed to transform the front of the monument, but I had no clue how. It's literally a huge slab of prismarine that I needed to add depth to. Using some dark prismarine, I made these curved tentacle decorations. By the end of day 716, the front transformation was finished, and I think it's a huge improvement over the base ocean monument. Day 717, I was repeating the same design all the way around the monument, which is really boring to watch. So let's just skip ahead to day 718, where I went on the hunt for more of Pingu's family. Yo, that came out really wrong. My idea was that if I had some more axolotls, my squid farm might work better. We have Pingu's uncle, Pingu's aunt, and let's not talk about it. Anyway, I expanded the ever-growing Pingu Empire and then heads up to my AFK platform. I AFK'd for the whole day, but unfortunately the results were way below what I was hoping for. In an act of stubbornness, I refused to accept the farm didn't work and instead AFK'd the whole night. I'd just like to point out that it's not the farm itself that's bad, it's just me building it in the worst place humanly possible. If you want to build this farm for yourself, the link is in the description. Day 718 begins with extinction. With the Dark Prismarine supply back up, I could transform the final section of the monument. Like any responsible construction crew, I just tore the entire thing down. Where was I going with this? Honestly, not a clue. I was just making it up as I went along. I was flying through the desert when I spotted another full iron skeleton. I headed back through the nether portal and had an absolute disaster in which several flight safety laws were broken. I grabbed a name tag, headed back over, and went through the wrong nether portal. So of course, when I flew over to the desert, the skeleton despawned. Day 720, I kept working on the top of the monument. I know it looks kind of stupid right now, but I promise it will look cool eventually. Day 721, a lot of squids died. As a peace-loving, squid protecting guy, I had nothing to do with it. I then used the insides of the squids to make a lovely roof. Day 722, I continued building and ran out of Dark Prismarine. I was somehow still in denial about my squid farm being way less effective than just killing them myself. Now that I think about it, I'm pretty sure I used the AFKing as an excuse to go eat. Oh yeah, I definitely went to eat. I completely forgot about the game and ended up AFKing all of day 723. Day 724, I managed to break every bone in my body. I was extremely scared because there were still creepers lurking about in the desert and I didn't have my ender chest with me. My mind couldn't stop thinking about how any dumb mistake right then could cost me everything. I made it back, grabbed a new totem, and peace was restored. Sadly, it's going to take my heart rate several years to recover. I finally accepted that it would be way faster to just kill the squids myself, and that was exactly what I did. I crafted up a bunch of Dark Prismarine and could start work on the roof again. Welcome back to another episode of Mosey Can't Do Maths. In today's episode, he miscounted the entire top section by 1 block. He's now rebuilding it all on day 725 and regretting his life choices. Day 726, guess who's run out of Dark Prismarine? Me! I crafted a bunch of black dye and also threw away several metric tons of fish from my guardian farm. I nearly finished off the roof and then headed back home to repair my elytra. And what better way to repair an elytra than forcing a bunch of villagers to go further and further into debt as they buy an endless supply of pumpkins and melons. Day 727, I kept working on the final part of the monument and by the end of the day I was done. It's fully detailed and transformed, which is what I would say if not for a crippling lack of soul lanterns which I then had to spend the entire night placing. But here we are on day 728 with a fully transformed monument. I did also try it with shaders, but you're not allowed to see that until the project's complete. The first thing on the list was to get rid of the ugly stone ring where the glass meets the ocean floor. I headed home, purchased some glass in the black market, and then AFK'd my creeper farm all night. Day 729, I started placing glass and realized just how time consuming this was going to be. By the end of the day, I barely made a dent. Not only did I need to place the glass, I also needed to carve out all the nearby stone. Mate, you can't get up there. Oi, you can't. Why are piglins so stupid? You know who else is stupid? This villager. Seriously, you've been in there for like 100 days at this point. I really didn't want to work on a huge job back at the ocean monument, so instead I went end raiding for the next 3 days. To be fair, I did need more shulker boxes. I found these 4 cities super close to each other, and all of them had a ship. I was heading back to my base when I got this random urge to push this zombie piglin off. And this took me several minutes, but I finally managed it. I loaded up all the loot into a double chest to show just how much raiding I did. Day 734, I really did not want to work on the monument because I kept coming up with more stuff to do. I wanted to improve the efficiency of my wither skull farm because it had a few drawbacks. I stole some turtle eggs and gave them some grass as an apology. I arrived at the farm and realized I'd somehow managed to lose my bow. Dealing with ghast was going to be a massive pain, and sure enough I had to fly at them like an absolute madman. By replacing these carpets with wither roses, I could stop magmacues from spawning whilst also adding more area for wither skeletons to spawn. There was also the minor issue of everywhere around me needing to be spawn proof, but I don't have the mental strength to do that. I just did the best I could at fixing any nearby areas. Day 735, the improvements were definitely a success. I spent the whole day chopping down skeletons. Day 736, I flew home with 10 wither skulls and decided it was time to take some responsibility. Not for my crimes, but for the ocean monument. What are you doing in there? Just leave. Day 737, I added some more armor stands to the entrance of my tower. It looks so much nicer now that it's all symmetrical. My super smelter had finished producing glass, so I headed over to the monument. This little slime was annoying me, so I bashed him over the head with my shovel. Killing that slime was the only interesting thing I did that day, because the rest of it was spent placing glass. Day 738 was completely spent placing glass. Then some angry guy threw a fork at me. For the entire night I was chipping away at the massive amount of stone surrounding the monument. Day 739 I did the same thing. The only thing of any note was that I had to relocate my beacon. Oh, and I found this. Day 740, my tools were on the ropes, so I headed back home to get them fixed. I harvested my melons and made an absolute ton of money. Taxes? What are those? I found another zombie piglin, and I don't know why I keep doing this, but it's really fun. You know what's not fun? Nearly getting blown up. Day 741, I had to relocate the beacon again, and then go back to placing glass. With that done, all I had to do was remove all the stone. With the power of editing, you're only gonna have to see about 10 seconds of it. I wish I could say the same for myself. Day 742, I was done, and not having all that stone makes this place look 10 times better. Of course, the nightmare's still far from over. I had to clear the entire layer of stone. I managed to get a music disc, but sadly it was one I already had. Day 742, I needed dark prismarine, so you know what that means. Time for a squid killing montage.
Why are you running? Why are you running?
I thought a nice extra detail would be adding dark prismarine under the glass. You know that game I hate, Sand Placing Simulator? Let me introduce you to another terrible game in the franchise, Grass Placing Simulator. Sand Placing Simulator, Glass Placing Simulator, they all suck enough by themselves. Why do we need a third installment, Grass Placing Simulator? Stop! No, I don't want it. Sorry about that, got a little bit emotional, but for the next 2 days I mined rocks, placed grass, and questioned my existence. Day 745, I ran out of that sacred resource known as grass and had to go gather more. Oh, a wandering trader. Do you have any drip leaf? No? Then die. Once I had enough grass, I went back to placing it, and there's honestly no words to sum up how much I hate doing this. Day 746, I don't want to talk about grass, I'm going to talk about my Discord server. If you want to come hang out with the community and even get some sneak peeks and updates about my hardcore world, the link's in the description. Also, we're trying to hit 300 members, so please join. Okay, bye. Day 747, I headed home and visited Moon. Her request for a lifetime supply of fish is going to have to take a back seat for now. I fixed up my tools by trading with the prisoners and then went out to gather more grass. We're going to jump to day 750 because I finally beat Grass Placing Simulator. My idea for decorating the monument was to create a dense jungle floor and surround the temple with bamboo. By hiding prismarine lanterns under moss carpet, I could stop monsters from spawning whilst also keeping the natural feel of the jungle. Day 751, a wandering trader arrived and he had drip leaf. On top of that, he had black dye, so he's the best wandering trader I've ever met. I returned home to grab some melons because they would be a great decoration for my new jungle. Speaking of jungles, I knew there was one somewhere in this direction, so I set out to get some jungle leaves. I couldn't find it, and by the end of the night I had given up and started raiding desert temples. Day 752, the temple raiding was in full swing. I lost one of my god apples to lava over 200 days ago, and I've never been able to find a replacement. By the end of the day, I ran out of rockets for my elytra and had to gather gunpowder like a peasant. Fine, go. Put go in boat. Day 753, I got baited by this ruined portal. The chest had 2 golden apples, but no god apple. Then the exact same thing happened in the nearby temple. I don't know why I have the worst god apple luck in the world, but I just cannot find one. Day 754, I got ambushed by creepers, and this could have gone horribly wrong. Found another temple. Nothing. Found another ruined portal. Baited. It's really easy to keep track of how many temples I've looted because I always take the blue piece of terracotta from the floor. 10 temples means 40 chests without finding a god apple. Then I remembered why I even started this journey. After gathering the resources, it was time to head home. Okay, one more temple won't hurt. It hurt. I jumped these piglins and had to make a tactical retreat, otherwise known as running away. The loot was alright, I guess. Hold on, free money? Thanks guys. I arrived home on day 755 and went to fix my tools with some scamming. The only problem was that I had almost no pumpkins and mez left to scam. I guess that's what happens when you sell an entire country's worth of produce in a week. For the next 6 days I built the jungle. I added rocks, ponds, melons, just really trying to bring the place to life. This was my progress by day 761 and I love how this place looks. I had to head home because I've run out of podzol. I decided this time I'd find that nearby jungle. Along the way I spotted a ruined portal and somehow nearly died. If I end up on Watch Mojo's list of top 10 stupidest people, I don't blame them. This time I actually found the nearby jungle instead of completely missing it. I then stole a bunch of natural resources and ran away before the cops showed up. I kept building until day 763 where I finished the jungle. And I've still got more work to do. I wanted to create a custom nether portal that would fit in with the monument. Unfortunately, my dark prismarine supply was like my girlfriend, non-existent. I worked on the portal for the rest of the night and I think it looks pretty cool. Day 764, I continued building the portal and finished it off with some hanging soul lanterns. Now for the actual final last part of this project. A path. But Mosey, it's just a path. How hard can it be? No. This path has got to be perfect. Day 765, the path building was in full swing. And then this happened. I swear this game hates me. Day 766, I was almost done. I hid sea lanterns under grey carpet, added some buttons to look like little stones, but there was still one problem. You can't exactly get into the monument. I made a pretty simple but effective staircase using some dark prismarine along the sides. Day 767, the last thing to do was add in 4 beacons. I used some cyan glass to make the colour of the beacon match the monument. Then I ran out of warp trapdoors. If I died at this point with the monument 99% complete, I think I'd probably just explode on the spot. Day 768, I was doing some cleanup around the monument, getting rid of the leftover sponge and taking down my beacon. I didn't want to leave a bunch of torches on the monument, so I used sea lanterns to light it all up. The timing could not have been more perfect because day 769 the monument was finished. And as promised, here's how it looks with shaders. It's honestly crazy that a project I started over 200 days ago is finally complete. And now it's time to clean up 10 shulkers full of leftover material. It took me till day 770 to get everything sorted, and it was time to sit in a box for 20 minutes because I ran out of rockets. Day 771 I started gathering cobblestone. It was time to fix the pumpkin and melon supply, and for that I needed observers. I also needed a lot of redstone, so for the first time in ages I went caving. I found an abandoned mineshaft and even a few diamonds. Day 772 I was still in here. This place sucks, there's no Wi-Fi. Day 773, I stacked up all the ores and mined them down with fortune. I've been building up a small supply of diamonds and added them onto my diamond beacon. My plan was to build a massive underground pumpkin and melon farm. The reason it's going underground is because farms in Minecraft are so hard to decorate, so hiding it away was the best option. It's a standard design for a pumpkin and melon farm, except this one's 4 times bigger than usual. A bright and sunny day 774, and I just mined my ender chest with the wrong pickaxe. Like, okay, it was funny for a while, but you really need to leave. Your family misses you. Now that I think about it, I'm pretty sure I've been scamming his family, so let's hope he doesn't find out. Now that I had enough space, I could start working on the collection system. Day 775, the system was finished and I could start building the farm itself. Day 776, it's standard stuff. Pistons, observers, and redstone. Day 777, something crossed my mind. I hadn't fed my pets for at least an entire Minecraft year. It was a great moment, finally taking responsibility as a pet owner. Man, I've got an empire to run, how can I support a family? I somehow managed to run out of cobblestone and had to gather more. Also mined my ender chest with the wrong pickaxe again. Day 778, I did an absolutely ridiculous amount of scamming. I run out of redstone yet again and had to go search for more. I found a skeleton spawner and had a few music discs. I searched the whole night but couldn't find any good caves. Day 779, I nearly pulled up in this ravine, then bailed immediately after realizing I was about to become a nice pile of ashes. I took my revenge, of course. I found this really cool cave that was absolutely rammed with enemies. Day 780, I found this pillager outpost and set up another portal. In 900 days, I want to make a raid farm, so this is going to be really useful. I mined down all the ores and added more diamond blocks to the beacon. With my redstone supply sorted, I was able to finish the farm, and it's going to make me a lot of money. Day 781, I did some deforestation. I wanted to cover up the entrance to the farm with a nice cottage. Unfortunately, I had to spend the whole night terraforming. I really wish I could erase day 782 from my brain because it's a complete waste. I didn't have any plans for this build and it ended up looking terrible. I took the whole thing down and started fresh on day 783. I took some inspiration from Blackprune's house tutorial and there's a link in the description if you want to check it out for yourself. Day 784, a thunderstorm kicked up. All I can say is turning creepers into walking nukes isn't the safest thing in the world. But don't worry, all you need is a single dirt block to walk away unscathed. This child also got blown up. If my video gets demonetized because I said that, I'm going to be so mad. Day 785, I added all the heads to my collection and went to check on my farm. The minecarts had gotten stuck and I realized they were all full of items, even though the collection chest had barely anything. My redstone skills are caveman-like at best, but by day 786, I was able to set up a much better system with some more hoppers. I worked on the cottage all of day 787 and then went to the nether to get some warped wood. Day 788, the results from the pumpkin and melon farm were looking good. I added a nice blue roof to the cottage and it's nearly complete. Apart from the fact I still need to detail the entire thing. Oh, I'm calling the police. Why are you still here? Day 789, I detailed the cottage, adding some hanging flower boxes with sweetberry bushes. There's also a huge chimney on the back, which I'm really happy with. Day 790, it was time to work on the interior of the cottage. Or at least, it was until I ran out of dark oak 3 minutes later. Well, they do say deforestation builds character. The final addition was a nice flower patch just outside. Also, the pumpkin and myrrh farm is an absolute beast. I love scamming. No, I said trading. Day 791, I felt like fighting the wither. Thanks to my newfound supply of fruit, I did enough scamming to reach level 100. There was a job I'd been meaning to do for ages, and that was gather up obsidian. My supply had been rock bottom for ages, so I spent the whole of day 792 mining it. Day 793, I went out in search of a swamp I'd found back in 200 days. I wanted to do the diamond clay method, but it only works in swamps generated back in 1.16. Along the way, I found the shipwreck that had generated underground. I searched for the entire day and night and couldn't find the swamp. However, day 794, I found a swamp I had been to in 1.16. I dug down and almost immediately found a mineshaft. While I explore it, I just want to explain something about my day counter because I see a lot of comments pointing out there's a day behind. When you start a Minecraft world, it begins on day 0. However, I counted that day 0 as day 1 because that just makes more sense. Hopefully that clears things up. Day 795, I was back to doing the diamond clay method, but it was just not working. It's supposed to be an 87.5% chance to find diamonds, but almost every time I found nothing. I was still trying on day 796 with limited success. Eventually I gave up and decided it was time to try strip mining. I strip mined throughout the night and into day 797 without finding a single diamond. As soon as I gave up and tried caving, boom, diamonds. And more diamonds. I returned home on day 798 and mined down all the blue rocks. From 61 diamond ore, I got 2 stacks of diamonds, which I'm super happy with. I did some more scamming because let's face it, who wouldn't? I realized Sun and Natsu's kid had grown up, so I came up with the genius idea of naming him Zatsuma. I set out on one final quest for day 800. It was time to find a third god apple. I travelled pretty far through the nether so that I could immediately begin searching unexplored territory. Day 799, I found a witch just minding her business and set her on fire, and now began the search for one of Minecraft's rarest items. My main target was desert temples, but ruined portals were also on the list. Now it's day 800, my last day for finding a god apple, and I am searching for buried treasure. My favourite part is carving out an entirely new cave system only to find the chest 3 blocks away. As I flew towards this temple, I was completely unaware that I was nearly about to lose everything. As I mined in, I placed sand above my head, pushing me off and just barely missing the pressure plate. And no, there was no god apple. I kept searching throughout the day, feeling more and more hopeless. It felt like I would never find a god apple. But as I dug down into this temple, everything changed. It's a good job my mic was muted because I probably shattered the eardrums of everyone on my street. Now I know technically it's day 801, but in order to stop any more comments saying I'm on the wrong day, we'll call this day 800. Before I headed home, I decided I might as well check if there were any more temples in this desert. And it's a good job I did. I got up onto the nether roof and started flying home. Perfectly balanced, as all things should be. I was able to get back home just in time, and I can safely say that I survived 800 days in hardcore Minecraft. That is it for the video. I really hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please consider dropping a like, maybe even subscribing, because these videos take so long to make. Let me know in the comments what you want to see in 900 days. I love seeing all the ideas you guys have. I'm sorry for this video being slightly later than usual. I was ill last week and it delayed everything by a couple of days. As I said before, if you want to come join the Discord, the link's in the description. Peace.